inside of our area, roofing is just a very small business. It's not anymore, but back then it was. It was just a husband and a wife and a smoky loft somewhere, and just was not exciting to me until I got into Abel and Mr. Roof.
Achievements take a lot of hard work, and we need to be proud of them, like, because like, oh, I did those achievements and that's it.
And so when people are like, oh, we can't do it, it's because you suck at it. I'm sorry. How do you not suck at it? You do it consistently.
Hey, what's up, roofing fam? Welcome to one more show, Conversations with Leaders, where we present the leaders and the trends that are changing the roofing industry. And the best thing is that is in English and in Spanish for my community. And today I am even more excited because my guest that I will present right now is it's a sales coach, one of my favorite topics, but we are going to talk about mindset, sales in mindset. And before we start, I'm going to introduce my guest. My guest right now, he has been working in sales for more than 19 years, if I'm not incorrect. He has managed one of the largest residential roofing companies in the nation. He's the sales coach in Contractor Coach Pro and top sales rep. And he has trained thousands, not hundreds, thousands of companies around the country. Coach Chuck Thockey, welcome to your show.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I'm proud to be here.
No, we are really happy to have you here. Before we start with the interview and with all the information that we have, let me give one more message. Fam, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like if you enjoy all the information that we have. Leave us a comment if you have anything to ask Coach Chuck or me, and share it so more people can benefit about this information that we are sharing. Now, Chuck, Coach, let's get it on. We want to start. First, we like to tell a story. In this show, we like to tell stories, and we want to know about you. Who is Chuck Thockey? Like, we want to go a little bit more deep in what I said. So we want to know, who are you? How did you start in the roofing industry? And what, we want to know about you.
All right. Well, I mean, it's obviously, Chuck Thockey. Man, I was just asked earlier today, what's my hobby? And I says, work. I mean, if you like what you do, if you love what you do, I mean, you wake up in the morning and you're like, hey, for these people that love golf, and I do like golf. For these people that love golf, it's like saying, I'm going to get up in the morning and I get paid to go golf. So with me, I love what I do. I love the people I work with. When you get an opportunity to take somebody that, they want to come into the roofing, siding, windows, baths, whatever the case may be, and they're like, hey, I really want to make this thing work, but I don't know how to do it. And we take them from zero to, wherever it is they want to go, 10, 20, 40 million. That is that drives me day after day. The same thing with the sales reps. I thoroughly enjoy working with sales reps, showing them how easy sales can be. And once they understand how easy things can be, I was just working with someone out of Myrtle Beach this morning, and he was even saying, he says, man, I've been through so much sales training, but I've never been through sales training that makes sales as easy as this. He says, I've been able to go through in just several weeks and master the entire system, where before these other sales trainers, they make it where you have to study for months after month after month just to try and figure out half of their system. And you just don't need that anymore. And then, when you look at things like, or companies like Able Roof and stuff, where I started. That's how I got into the roofing industry.
Okay.
Was coming out of bath fitter. I'm sure you've heard of bath fitter, one day baths. So I helped grow the bath fitter brand, and then into, or at least inside the tri-state area, and then into roofing. I was not real excited at first because inside of our area, roofing is just a very small business. It's not anymore, but back then it was just a husband and a wife and a smoky loft somewhere, and just was not exciting to me until I got into Able and Mr. Roof, and was able to help grow, that brand. I've had many people say, "Oh, Chuck, you grew." We had 300 employees. So for me to sit here and say I grew Able and Mr. Roof just would not be correct. They had we had a lot of great people. Most of them have moved on to grow other companies, but yet, the processes and systems inside of the sales piece, that's where I stayed.
Okay. Coach, yeah, right now that you are saying that you moved to the roofing industry and it was like nothing like, oh, like the roofing industry, I'm super excited.
That's right.
I have an analogy about this. Like, so I come from the automotive industry. I come from BMW in Mexico City.
Yeah.
But I remember I had some friends that they were selling things too, products, but they were selling diapers. Like they were sales rep or managers for diapers. So when you say like roofing is something similar, like, oh, I'm a sales rep in the biggest roofing company in the world, or I'm in the biggest automotive, or I'm in the biggest diaper company. Like, like not sexy, but like I just remembered about that analogy. Coach, I want to know. I want to go a little bit deep, or your experience when you were in Able Roofing. Like, I know this is like not a lot of people like to talk about this, but what do you think are your greatest achievements that you did in your whole experience? Because I know you have them, and probably you don't share them because you like being a little bit cocky. But what I say about achievements is that achievements take a lot of hard work, and we need to be proud of them, like, because it's not like, oh, I did those achievements and that's it. Like, I work my butt off. So do you think are your best achievements in your whole experience?
So we can go back to Able on this and bringing a process, not only just bringing the process, but bringing the accountability. Because you can bring a process in, and I've put so many processes in place in so many companies that some come back and say, Chuck, it's just not working. And you have to know how to do it. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to go out and buy a process, I'm going to put it in place, and that's going to solve all your problems. It's how you put it into place. How do you hold people accountable? Where does the discipline come in? Because when we look at successful companies, when I go into a company like Indie Roof, I'm sure that Aaron and Adam. When you go into a company like Indie Roof, Adam runs a tight ship. And you can see it when you're there, how fast they've grown, and it's not a mystery. Now, some of these other companies you go in, and it's very loose. It's fast and loose, and they are trying to figure out how to get past $2 million still. That's where the process, that's where the understanding of the model truly starts to work, is how dedicated are you to it, and how dedicated is the team to it. Now, the owner may be completely dedicated, but then the team's just not buying in, and it's not going to work. So it was this last week or the week before, there was a company, I always wish I could name companies, but I don't want to. There was a company that says, Chuck, these guys just aren't buying into it. Then get new guys. Mm-hmm. That's an easy decision. Now you'd think it would be an easy decision when he's like, these guys have been with me 5-6 years. It's like, look, either they can buy into the direction that you're moving in, or they can be replaced by people that do. And these companies right now, I know that there's companies right there, Chuck, but that's just not as easy as you would think. I can't even find another sales rep. You can't find a sales rep because you're not doing it consistently enough. We have a company in Atlanta called Bullet Roof, and it started by one of my best friends, and when they called and said, hey, we need 2 more sales reps, I had 2 sales reps, and they're still there. I had 2 sales reps hired, and then we started training them. They're killing it. But we did that within 2 weeks. Okay. And so when people are like, oh, we can't do it, it's because you suck at it. I'm sorry. How do you not suck at it? You do it consistently. People will say, oh, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna put an ad in the Indeed until I find somebody. I'm going to put an ad out in Indeed until I find 20 of them. And then I'm going to go find the one I want. We also use, and I'm not shy to say who it is. We use Pivotal with Matt Snow. I use him all the time. If I'm just looking for one person, I'm going straight to Matt. If I'm looking for canvassers, I'm going to do it on my own. But if I'm looking for sales reps, I do like to use Matt and his folks there, because they are very good. They will find the next couple of sales reps. They will do the first interview, and they will send them over to us to do the second interview. And I do all that for the same as I would post on Indeed for.
Okay, they do does Matt they do hiring reps?
Yeah, so they're recruiters. And now, anybody that's watching this right now, if you have a recruiter and they want a certain percentage of that person's salary, or a certain percentage of what you're going to end up paying this person, hang up. Don't even say bye. Hang up. They deserve it, to tell you the truth. Now, before the people from these companies start to get mad, if you are hiring a key person like a VP, a sales manager, something like that, okay, you might look at paying a certain percentage, but there better be guarantees, and I do mean guarantees connected to that. If they don't have any guarantees, hang up.
Okay. So, Coach, the recommendations for the recruiters, the one that you said right now, they ask you for a percentage the whole life of the time that the executive is in the company.
No, they want first year. So if you're going to pay somebody $100,000, it's just easy, and they say we want, and I've had them go in upwards of 10%. They want 10% of first year salary.
Okay,
that's $10,000.
Damn.
To hire a sales manager. Now, depending on what sales manager they bring in, all right, maybe that person's worth it. So it just depends on what it is you're looking for.
That's a really good point. And what's the recommendation to hire like a first salary, like the first month, one extra salary to the recruiter, or what's the right way to hire a top executive?
Yeah, so if you're having a top executive, those types of recruiters that want a percentage are good. But again, you want the guarantees. If you're going to pay that kind of money, it better be guaranteed. But there is, like with Pivotal, they're going to charge you a certain amount for the campaign. So if you have 20 people that come in and he can deliver 5 to you to say, hey, here's 5 people to interview, it doesn't cost any extra. That's why, and there are a lot of recruiters out there. Matt and his team are the only ones that I deal with right now, but there are a lot of those out there. But just make sure you know what you're going to pay before you go in and have them, turn them loose. But I'm going to tell you, on a sales rep, if any recruiter says that they want a percentage, don't even say bye, just hang up the phone. They'll get the picture. When they hear that dial tone, they know that they got somebody that knows what they're doing.
That's a great advice. That's a great advice. So, Coach, I wanna come back to the things that you start saying of your achievements, and I think all coaches, when you ask them like, Coach, how can I grow my team? Everybody says, build your process. There is no one coach that doesn't say anything, and even not even the coaches, like everybody, like process. But what I'm realizing right now that I'm into that process of growing my team is that it's not only that. It's about accountability and implementation of the process. How the people is following you, so they do what you have to do as a leader, what you need to do as a leader, so they follow you, and that's a lot of work. And when you have a team of how many sales reps do you guys have in enabling that time, Coach?
So when you say, are you asking me how to hold somebody accountable? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking like how many sales rep do you guys have in your team, to see like implementing those processes to huge teams is not easy. So how many reps do you have like that you implemented?
Well, with Abel, we had over 70. If you're talking like with Wagner, we've got 8. American Weather Techs, we've got I'm guessing 15 now. So it just depends on what organization. It's all based on where do you want to go. Don't ever hire based on the lead flow.
Okay.
I'm going to hire based on what I want to sell. And I know that a certain number, a rep can sell so much. And so that's what we're going to base it on. Now, we don't just go up to that one. Like if I want, let's say if I want $10 million, then I'm going to go out and get 12 people. I'm probably going to go out and get 13.
Okay.
Now, I know that there's some people out there like, why wouldn't you just say 10,000, 10 guys? I'm here to tell you that not everybody's $1 million producer.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's society or today's selling environment, $1 million is not that great. Yes. You show me a $2 million and that's really good. Mm-hmm. So that 1.5 person, that's where they should be. But I'm going to take an account every sales rep to sell 750,000 because I'm going to hedge my bet.
Can you say that 750,000 is an average? 150 to 1 million?
I'm going to use 750,000 as a mark for each rep. Now, if you sell 750,000 in our organization, you'll probably get let go. But we're going to use that to determine how many reps we need.
Okay.
Typically.
Got it. So, Coach, when you are implementing this process, building these teams, and keeping them accountable, where the mindset plays a role in all this process? Because mindset, it's a topic that we are going to focus today. It's one of my favorite topics. I believe that I work in my mindset pretty often, but like I want to know I want to know everything about like how mindset play their role in all these.
Right. So we use a thing called train, trust, believe. So we're going to train the rep and test the rep for mastery. We're going to trust that they know it after that. We really want to build a trust with that sales rep, and we also want them to trust us. There is a dirty word in so many of our organizations, and that word is family.
Okay.
And here's why, because I know there's people like, what? If you treat your organization like a family, then they're going to try and get away with whatever they can get away with. If you treat your organization like a business, then people aren't going to get away with things. They're going to be held accountable, and everybody does their job. But if you tell everybody that we're a family, this is a family organization, then they know what they can get away with. They know that, that you're not going to let them go because man, we're a family. I mean, you really like me. I thought we were friends. Come on, Pancho. I thought we were friends. You know, and it's not that it's. I have seen organizations that are happier as a business than I walk in and everybody says that we're family and everybody's pissed off at each other. And I'm like, I thought you were a family, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
That's a very dangerous word inside of these organizations.
Yes. Actually, my community, I call it my family, is to my community and to the Hispanic community, because like I'm gonna do whatever I can so I can help them. And I think that's the same mindset that we need to get with our companies too. Like, we are here for you, to support you, we're gonna be here for whatever you need.
But that when you look at the train, train, trust, believe, is we do want to train and we want trust to go both ways, and then we want to believe in them, and we want them to believe in us as well.
Okay.
You know, if you don't believe in your people, if your people don't believe that they're working for number one, that they believe that they work for the best company with the best products in the industry, I mean, I would expect them to quit. If your business isn't aimed in that direction of being the best, now don't go around telling everybody you're the best, because nobody's going to care. But if you aim to be the best, that there's a benchmark there. You know, I was just at a company that they kept talking about the best. And I'm starting to see the reviews. I'm like, your customers don't even think you're the best, because it's review after review of how their jobs have been left dirty. The product isn't, living up to its name. We need to fix this. We need to figure out why. You guys might have the greatest sales team and the greatest production department, but for whatever reason, you picked the wrong crews.
Yes.
We're not following up after them.
Yes, and that's one thing that I can see with this example is that sometimes we are really good internally with our teams, with our values, with these implementations of this process, but in the outside, in the physical world, they are not seeing that. And that's a challenge from a business. It's like you need to be really strong inside, but outside too. Or some teams are really good in the outside, but then in the inside, they have a mess. And that's the challenge. I don't know if you see it a lot right now with all the companies that you train, this is a thing that balance these two situations.
Yes. Yeah, we do see it, not a lot. Most people that would call for coaching, they want to do it right. They strive to do it right. So we don't find very often where there's an imbalance in what we say versus what we do. We don't see that very often.
Okay.
We do see inside of companies that come to us and just inquire about coaching. And either we decide we're not going to take them on because we don't think they believe in the balance, or they just can't afford it. And the reason why they can't afford it is they're too busy fixing all the installs.
Yes. Okay. So, Coach, right now in the train, trust, and believe, I think a lot of these in these three words that you just said, mindset, it's a strong part. Or if I can
mindset
say probably everything.
Yeah, mindset is huge. Understanding mindset is very, very big. Sales managers, we go through like emotional intelligence and the identity versus role. We help them understand that so that they can train their salespeople on it. Identity versus role is one of the best mindset exercises that I feel that any team can go through. And the way to look at this, when you're a kid, and let's say that you play a football game and you lose, and these kids come off and they're crying. And I'm like, what are you crying about? And they're like, I can't believe we lost. And they're devastated that they lost. I says, well, it's not that you suck. I mean, you lost a game. Next week we have an opportunity to win the game, but your role as a player, your role as a sales rep, your role as a husband and a father does not affect your identity. But that's when we were kids, that's what would happen. And it still, unfortunately, it still happens today as adults, where people allow their roles to affect who they are as an individual. Your identity should affect your role.
Your identity. Why do you think that doesn't change through the years, Coach? Like, why do you think people like keep happening that, like when we were kids?
It's maturity. Some people mature and some people don't. It's based on your experience and upbringing. I was told at a very young age that what people think of me does not have to be who I am.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, I grew up as a severely learning disabled. So I was, now my parents never said it, but people in school, the teachers, the faculty, I was pretty much told that I was an idiot. It's funny when they keep telling you that you're special, Yeah. And then, 2 years after I graduate high school, I'm an aerospace engineer.
Damn, exactly. Yes. So, Coach, okay, you said, I want to share, I like to do some play roles with my guest. So imagine I'm a roofing business owner or a manager, and I want to work in my mindset and in my team mindset. I want to get it strong and get them strong. You said one of the key tips to get a strong mindset is doing some play role, right?
Yeah.
What other tips do you have, so that we can start implementing?
So we have an exercise that we do with coaches or the sales managers, where we show them as an identity. There's an identity scale from 0 to 10. And we know on that scale that is from 0 to 3, these are poor performers. When you wake up in the morning, you stub your toe, the water is freezing cold because your water heater went out. This is going to be a bad day. And before you know it, that day is going to be, your identity is somewhere between 0 and 3. And then, how can we get that up to the next level? And that next level is from 4 to 7 from 4 to 6. And so 4 to 6 is what we call the good enoughers or the at-leasters. At least I didn't lose, 60,000, that's enough for me. These are the good enoughers. And if you think that, I'm never there, well, you're there more than you think. I'm going to tell you that 90% of the country is there 90% of the time. Is the at-leaster.
Yes.
At least I got here on time. At least they didn't throw me out. I got a chance to walk out this time. They're just the good enoughters or at-leasters. I've had a lot of sales reps that say, hey, Chuck, I'm making 90 grand. I'm fine with that. Get out. Because if all you're making is 90 grand, I'm going to get fired. Because you're okay selling at 30%.
So, Coach, do you recommend do this exercise to all our sales team or sales reps? All of them need to be do this exercise and analyzing their mindset.
They should. They really should. Because what sales reps don't understand is mindset. The one thing I didn't go through was that from 7 to 10, these are your winners. And if you wake up in the morning and you determine that you are a winner, you have to prove to yourself that you are a winner. You're going to enter in, you're going to work out, you're going to eat right, you're going to do everything you're supposed to do to be that winner. And if you show up a winner, you're going to be seen as a winner. And so the other part of this is that that's where your role lives. So if your identity is at a 7, that means that your role is going to be either a step up or a step down. So if you're at, let's say you're an 8, so you're either going to be a 9 or a 7, and somewhere in between there, and that's your role. That's also what we call our comfort zone. So if today my role is at a 9, or my identity's at a 9, then I'm either going to be a 10 or an 8. That's where my comfort zone is today. I'm kicking ass today. Now, if it's at like a 5, and my comfort zone, whereas my role is inside that 6 to 4, then you know what? It's an easy breezy day. It is what it is. At least, you know, I woke up this morning. You know, they're just the at-leasters and good enoughers. And so you need to put yourself where you want to be, but you have to prove it to yourself too. But remember that where your identity is where people see you. If you put your identity at a 5, people are going to see you as a 5.
Yeah, everybody can see everything. Like, you don't have, what I'm seeing right now is that you don't have to tell the people that surround you what number you are. They can see it. They can.
Yeah, you don't go up to somebody and like, man, I'm a 7 today, baby. No. But you show them that. That's what
and
you're.
They know. Really smart managers. They smell it. They can identify it since the first minute you introduce yourself to that person. Am I correct, Coach?
That's right.
That's
why how you hold yourself. It's how you speak. It's how you. We talk about tone. And when I'm talking about tonality, I mean, when I first started my professional career, I was very soft-spoken. I talked a lot, where now I don't talk much at all. But you wouldn't know that watching this. But I'm usually the quiet guy in the corner. But when I do talk, I have this booming voice, and I've been fed to teach myself how to do it. Because again, that shows the confidence. That shows who you are. You know, you're not going to shut me down.
Yes. Bam. Pay attention of what Coach Chuck is saying right now. They can see it. They are really observative with everything. So try always to be on top of everything, like the example that Coach Chuck said. Coach, okay. What are some of the activities that a strong mind, not activities, or like, how can I say it? Like, how can you identify a strong mindset with like, what are the activities they do, like a strong mindset person that you see like, oh, come on, that guy is like, we need it in the team, or another guy, like a weak mindset, they are like a 4 or 0, like what do they do? How can you identify them?
Well, first of all, if you notice one of your sales reps and you can tell that they're low on the scale, that you can tell that, man, this guy just isn't with it right now. You need to bring him in immediately, sit him in the office, close the door, and find out what's going on. It's the same thing when we get into a slump. I want to pull somebody in. I want to find out, because many times when people go into a slump, there's personal issues, and I want to find out what these personal issues are. I want to know so that we can help them take care of them. Many times it's a laziness issue, but again, if I notice that someone is a little down, that their identity, if you will, is either a good enougher or in a poor performer area, then I'm going to bring him in, find out what's going on, and I may take him off the schedule that day.
Okay.
And this right here, what I'm going to say next is worth the price of admission. Sales managers should be managing their sales calendar, not an admin. Okay. Now, the admin may put that sales calendar together, but should not be managing it, meaning the day before, or maybe even a couple of days, they should be watching to figure out who those leads are going to, and should I change it? These are for company generated leads that come in, and you might look at it like, oh man, I don't think that guy's going to sell that lead, or I just don't have as much drive to that person as I would to Tim over here. So I'm going to take that lead and I'm giving it to Tim. The sales manager needs to understand what their job is first, and their job is their I guess you can say the loyalty, the drive should be towards the company first, because their job, what they can be hired and fired on, is the performance and where their numbers sit. So I'm going to tell you that if a sales rep, if I don't believe they could sell a certain lead, they will not be running that lead. I don't care how fair they think it is or is not. People are like, Chuck, man, I mean, that's just crazy. Why would you do that? Because that's what my job is. That owner hired me to hit numbers, not to put diapers on their sales reps.
Yes, we want the best and the closers. And probably this is gonna be like a little bit like hard to say or even mean, but guys, what the coach says is like all top managers and business owners are gonna see it that way. They are not gonna be play around and like, welcome to the school, or we are like we say
that's right.
I'm not like we are not here to help you. Like, we cannot play around here. We are already in the game, and it's life or death decision. And probably I'm being a little bit extreme with this reference.
You're fine. You're right on the right track.
Exactly. Like, it's like if you are playing American football and like you want to put a player with another player that is gonna make is gonna go over him, and you are gonna lose the game because of that player. If I'm the coach, and those are strategic decisions that good managers make. And if you want to be in a good team, you want to understand what Coach Chuck just said right now, because you need to be, I'm going to say it again, in the top of the game. So we said, Coach, like a low score mindsets, they are down, they are lazy, they are poor performance. And probably one that I want to add is they are inconsistent.
Yes,
right?
Very inconsistent.
Inconsistent in what they do. I think, guys, remember these 4 words that we said. And what are some characteristics of a strong mindset that you will see like them? That guy is going to kill it. I'm going to give him the best leads that I have.
Confidence is one, but not always, because we have a lot of very high performers that, I mean, they carry themselves well, but what you see most often is that they're willing to help others. They're always willing to pitch in and work with the other guys or gals, whichever. They're always willing to lend a hand when needed. But when you have someone that is a typical high performer and they come in complaining, that's when you know, hey, get in here, close that door. Something's happened, and you want to calm them down. When you see a top performer that is starting to come in complaining, for one, you do not want your other reps to see that, because this is somebody that they admire. They look up to this person, and if he's or she is in there whining and complaining, it's okay for us too. So we need to shut that down right away. We have this thing called the sales team matrix, and any of the sales managers that come in for training and coaching, that's one of the first things that they see. And I have not had one yet that says that right there, I'm done. We could be done, and we still have 40 things that we want to discuss. But they see that as that is the easiest way to run their business, is to know, who are my rock stars, who needs to be coached and trained, who needs to be isolated, taken away from the sales team because they're a top performer, but they have a bad attitude. I'm taking them as far away from the sales team. I'm not going to fire them and send them like competitor. So I'm just pulling them away from the sales team. Or who needs to be fired. These people that are low skill, bad attitude, just get rid of them. we come into these organizations and we have them fill this out, and there's always one person in that red area, and I'm like, so you needed me to come in to tell you that this person needs to be let go. Well, it's such and such's brother. Well, it's such and such's brother that's going to be mad at the next family reunion is what's about to happen. And you look at that, you're like, gosh, Chuck, you're so mean. And it's, again, this is a business. We have to treat it as a business.
Yes. So, Coach, if someone needs you just said it right now. If we have some reps that are in the red part, low performance, like how do you decide if you fire them or if you are gonna work with them? How you because that line can be really thin, but.
So the red, can I share my screen with you?
Yes, for sure. I would love it.
Let me pull this in and I will show you. See here, let me pull it up.
We are gonna post this in YouTube, so everybody's gonna see what you are gonna show, because what you just said, like, oh yeah, that's my family, like the brother of the brother, like, damn, it's like, yes, but like, go ahead, Coach.
So this is what I'm talking about. It's what we call the sales rep matrix. Okay. And so you'll see the skill scale and the attitude scale down here. And so if they have a poor attitude and poor skill, get them out. Because and I don't care if they just started last week, if they come in with a poor attitude, what are you going to try and do? Try to tell them, hey, don't worry, be happy. I mean, you hire for attitude, you teach for skill. And so when we look at the skill set, and maybe they're on number 2 here, but they have a good attitude, it's right inside coach and train. I'm going to love on them and coach them and push them. Now, here is something that you need to understand is there may be that ceiling that they hit. I've had a guy that I loved. I mean, I'm not going to say his name, but he loved the company more than the owner himself. He wrapped his own truck. He would come in and if he could preach the word of the company, he would. But he was just dumb. I could not. I mean, I did everything I could. I went way past. I bet you anything, I wasted in upwards of $100,000. What I mean by that is giving him leads that other people could have sold because I believed in him. I really wanted him to make it. Man, somebody that loved the company that much, I really wanted him. And nobody could get him past that level. We kept hitting his ceiling, and we just at that time we had to just call it a day. But so this green area is where sales managers and sales coaches, that is where we make our money. Okay. And then the folks that you're in a rock star with, we've had many rock stars in that area. And we just appreciate them. Don't put them on a pedestal. I know there's some people that are watching us right now. They realize that the last thing they should ever do is put a sales rep on a pedestal. Tell them how great they are, man. Man, we couldn't do this without you. Man, you are killing it. You're at the top every single. Man, we don't have anybody that can do it. You have just killed that sales rep. They will never be able to be coached and trained again. And we had one that went to top rep, and he came back and he went from the bottom to the top, and boy, he wanted to tell everybody. And I'm like, man, you used your training to sell. You used your training to bypass everybody else, and you killed yourself because then you wanted to tell everybody how great you were. That's why we talk about, being humble over hype. Yes. So, and then we get into the isolate where it's a top rep, it's a top performer that just has the attitude just went downhill. And it used to be where this person's toxic, get him out. Well, why would I want to send a sales rep, a top selling sales rep to somebody else, I'm just going to isolate them. I'm going to move them away from everybody else. And as long as their customers love them and they can send in good paperwork, I don't want them talking to anybody but production. I don't want them talking to any sales reps. I don't want them talking to the phone room. And I'm going to let them know that. And every time I've done this, in about 2 to 3 weeks is the average time when they come back like, all right, what do I got to do? And they ended up being some of our best sales reps, not just for the selling, but because now they realize how important that attitude is, and they're going to show everybody else how important that attitude is.
Yes.
So again, this right here is huge when we're coaching and training, whether it's our sales reps or I'm doing the same thing to a sales manager.
Yes. So, fam, coach, thank you for that information and showing that scale. Fam, sales is not only about who sells the most or like who sells the less. It like goes deeper than that. And that scale, that information that coach just showed, it's like impressive. And we need to go into those details with the team. And I think if I can summarize the information that you just shared, coach. So the reps that are in risk are the ones that were in the red and yellow part, correct? Like they can be like, because they need to fix something, correct? We need to pay attention to them.
Yeah, they just need some work. Yeah.
And the ones that I isolate, I think it was like pretty similar as the example that we said in the beginning, that in the outside we are doing everything perfect with the clients, with the community, but internally, then they are a nightmare. Like everybody scares of them. And fam, if you are a rep, that you are an excellent rep selling millions, but you are that person that you are being isolated, this is not a place that we want you to be, and we don't recommend to be. Companies don't like it, and we just said it right now. If you are in the left part of the scale, you need to change something.
You do need to change something.
Because probably, coach, you have, and tell me if I'm true or not, probably you have a sales rep that is selling, I don't know, regular 900,000, but the clients are happy. Externally and internally, everyone works perfectly. That's the team that you want.
That's right.
Yeah, I have, like, probably there is a lot of cases that even if you're a rock star, or like you are being isolated, and you can be in like cut out a team, right?
That's right.
Damn. No, thank you, coach. Okay, were you gonna say something?
No, that what you're explaining, and when we're talking about that, one of the things to know is like, was it Nathan Thibodeau talks about the hero sales culture.
Okay.
That's understanding you have the prima donnas, and that's your isolate. The people that come in and they just drop it like, man, they're gonna suck. Those are the ones that you want to isolate out, try and get them to understand what they're doing internally in the inside of the company, not just how well they're doing with the customers.
Yeah, and coach, another thing about that, yes, that's super important. Another thing is like when those reps are isolated and they are not going to the meetings. So the other reps that are going to the meetings, they can complain. But fam, you need to understand that you don't want to be in that place. If you are in that meeting, you don't want to be there. You need to be with your manager in those meetings all the time, supporting with everything that you can.
Yeah.
And coach, do you know what I understand a lot about these topics, because I feel I have been in all of them.
You've done that. That's right.
I probably not I haven't getting the isolated part, but probably in the other. And I learned a lot of that. Probably nobody showed it to me like so specifically with your chart, but right now that I'm seeing it, like, damn, but like, I'm glad I took I correct my path, you know?
That's right.
So coach, weak mindset, we can work with them, right? They can be trained depending where you are and your attitude.
That's right.
Okay. Coach, what are some of the opportunities and weakness that you see reps have that normally have, like, because normally they have the same opportunities and the same things to fix. What are those things that they can get better if they can go from to the best part of the chart?
Well, if they know the process, the sales process that their company has laid out for them, where they can go from good to great, as they say, is their confidence, their tone of voice, when to use a confident tone of voice and when to make themselves small. You know, when I'm in and I'm presenting and giving price, I'm giving a very, a smile on my face and a powerful voice. And then when I am answering an objection or a stall or excuse, they jump into, I need to think about it. Hey, I totally understand. That's why we give you 30 days. I'm going to make myself small. I'm going to put myself on their side of the table, let them know it's going to be okay. Because if I kept that dominant voice, I for a lack of a better term, I'm just going to look like an asshole. Mm-hmm. It is. You're just, they're not going to like you. It's like an argument. Is what it's going to sound like. But if you make yourself seem small, then now you put yourself in their shoes on their side of the table, and you're going to give them a big hug. It's okay. And you're going to bring it down to money. Then you're going to sell the money.
Coach, and
that's one of those ways of going good to great. Okay. Another way of going good to great are more advanced training, such as reversing and understanding the platinum rule. We've had a lot of companies come in and say, hey, Chuck, we've mastered the system and we're doing great. What else can we do? And it's like, man, there's a lot. Understanding emotional intelligence in the house, understanding the reversing. Reversing is huge. Reversing is answering a question with a question. If you see somebody or you're having a hard time going back and forth with the homeowner, then the homeowner slips up and gives a buying question. And I'll almost say about 99% of sales reps in the country will screw up a buying question. So is this something that you guys would be able to get installed by the end of next month? Well, yeah, you're done. Okay, well, we've got a couple other people coming out, but I'm glad that you were able to do that. Man, I think you're my guy. You'll never hear from him again. But if you understand how to do the reverse and you're going to answer that question, so what's going to happen, if you don't mind me asking, what's going to happen next month? Oh, we're going to go on vacation. I'd really like to have this thing installed by the end of that. Okay. So, this was something, we are slammed right now. And so if this was something that we could do, if we were able to get installed by the end of next month, this is something you'd want to do? Well, yeah. But again, they have to be trained to do that. It's not something like, oh, I can do that. No, they need to be trained and tested and then and pushed to be able to do something like that. So those are those things where it's next level.
I'm going to summarize what you said. I just write what you said. Know your process perfectly. Know your product. Those are basics. Then control your mind and know when to use the tone of voice. Like it's not your turn and when it's your turn to bribe, right? Then training, obviously, and understand personalities of your client, like to understand it, like what are they telling you and why? What and why? To see what are you gonna answer with the reverse tactic that you just said, right?
That's right. That's right.
We got 5 things: process, product, control your mind, that's mindset, training, and understand personalities.
That's right.
Coach, we are getting to the end part of the show. I want to finish. I want to finish with 2 questions, and then if you can tell us about Top Rep that is coming. The 2 fast questions that I want to know about. That I want you to answer you.
I've got to jump here in just a second, but
Coach, okay, tell us about Top Rep, please. Let's close with that before we go.
So Top Rep is coming February 27th and 28th. It's going to be in New Braunfels, Texas, right outside of San Antonio. And if you have a sales team or you do any type of sales, you've got to be there. If you're not there at the beginning of the year, then I don't know what you're going to do the rest of the year. You're probably going to struggle. Here's the reason why I say this. I don't say it because we're going to be arrogant about it. I say it because we are entering into a new sales climate, into a new sales era. And if you're not ready for it, you will not survive. They have already said, the experts have already said 80% of the roofing industry will not exist by the end of this year. 80% will be out of business by the end of this year. And so that is why we have doubled the capacity so that we can open it up. If we didn't, we would have already sold out. We were at the venue there in New Braunfels, and we moved to the convention center because we are having such a huge response. Because if you don't know how to sell, before now, from 2019, 2020 till today, till December, it was just hustle. I mean, anybody could sell. If you couldn't sell, you shouldn't own a business in that time frame. Now, it has gone back to a sales dominant era where you better know what you're doing. If you don't, these other people are going to eat your lunch, and they're going to do it quickly. So you can go to topreptraining.com. That's www.topreptraining.com. And if you just use my name, Chuck, all caps, you'll get $100 off of each ticket.
Nice. I'm going to leave the information below so people can get on it. And I want to close with this. You need to be strategically and smart in this new world. We cannot do the same things. Fam, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. Leave us a comment if you want to know more about Chuck or myself. We are going to answer all your questions, and share it so more people can find out about it. Chuck, thank you very much for your time. This was super valuable information. See you next week. Peace. Thank you, Coach. Estoy súper emocionado porque tenemos un experto en un tema que no hemos tocado desde que iniciamos. Ya vamos para el episodio número 16 y no habíamos tocado el tema de Public Adjusting.
Pienso que lo que he pasado, ese transcurso de 10 años, es lo que me ha formado hoy en día, lo que me ha llevado a crear un libro que tiene 10 años de experiencia y ahora resumido en 7 horas. ¿Para qué? Para que mucha gente como yo que empezamos en ese entonces ahora pueda tener la facilidad y poder tener la ventaja, se puede decir, ¿no? Que algo que yo hubiera querido en ese entonces, ¿no?